Hello everyone, and welcome to my General Hospital News YouTube channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribers button and give this video a thumbs up. As they made their way down a hallway at General Hospital, Portia handed Elizabeth a list of tests to run. In the meantime, Aidan showed in carrying a big container of cupcakes, which he gave to his mother at the nurse's station. Elizabeth came around the corner while he was still waiting for an elevator. She said, "Aren't you going to say hello?" "Hello, Mom," Aidan said, explaining that he had dropped off cupcakes for Amy's birthday celebration. He informed Elizabeth he had to return to school before his free period ended, so he didn't have time to accept her offer of payment. Elizabeth requested an embrace, but as soon as she pulled away and saw a patch of paint on his backpack, she became worried. Aidan explained it away as being awkward in his painting class, but she remembered that the week before he'd come home from school with paint in his hair. She was reminded by Aidan that art class used a lot of paint. Elizabeth strolled over to the nurse's station after Aidan departed. After learning about Aidan's cupcakes, Portia requested a friend to hold onto one for her. Elizabeth nodded, but Elizabeth seemed worried as Portia saw. Elizabeth revealed to Portia that Aidan had been bullied a few years prior in addition to the paint in his hair and on his bag. Elizabeth acknowledged that she was worried, but she didn't want to linger, so she was trying to tread cautiously. Portia sympathized and advised Elizabeth to get in touch with Aidan's instructors or school counselor to see if there was anything going on that Elizabeth needed to know about. Elizabeth then gave Aidan's school a call. Maxie was upset with Lucy's appearance on Home and Heart when she saw her at Deception, but Scott forewarned her that if Lucy gained some notoriety, there would be no stopping her. Because Lucy insisted on getting in front of the camera and Home and Heart would not give Deception a spot, Maxie requested Scott to speak with Lucy. Lucy showed up right then, boasting that she had been the center of attention while she was in the foyer. Additionally, Lucy talked about her newfound social media following and the quantity of likes one of her posts had received. "I rest my case," declared Maxie. Scott hesitated before answering Lucy's question, explaining that he needed to speak with Maxie. Lucy asked Scott to see her on Haven's show in her office. Lucy started talking endlessly about acting methods and her acting teacher Lee Strasberg, but Maxie interrupted her to remind her that pitching was about selling, not acting, and that the most crucial attributes were honesty and reliability. After Lucy nodded, she suggested launching a fresh skincare brand under her own name. Maxie looked to Scott for assistance, frustrated. Lucy was reluctantly informed by Scott that her appearance on Haven's show had not gone well. Lucy was shocked and declared the program an unqualified success. Maxie declared it was a dumpster fire. Unfazed, Lucy took out her phone to show Scott and Maxie who their new fans were, proving to them that they were mistaken. However, Maxie pointed out that Lucy had spent the whole hour on Haven's show gushing about herself, rather than their new offering. Maxie clarified that Lucy's increased fan base hadn't resulted in increased sales, but Lucy argued that the figures were real and that sales were indeed increasing. Maxie told Lucy that sales had fallen below the 300 units per minute minimum prior to Lucy's appearance, but that after Sasha took over, they skyrocketed to 650 units per minute. Maxie contended that Lucy's allegation that her admirers had held off on buying merchandise until after her program ended was nonsensical. Lucy went to Scott for help because she felt cheated that Maxie had given Sasha credit for her sales. Scott had no choice but to concede that Maxie was correct. Maxie assured her that she wasn't downplaying Lucy's dedication or contribution to the business, but Deception required teamwork and product sales for the business to be successful. Maxie acknowledged that Lucy wasn't the best person to represent Deception, but she had other ideas. Drew thanked Curtis for visiting Aurora Media. Drew announced that he planned to expand Aurora Media and launch a wellness-focused section after Curtis took a seat. Drew asked Curtis if he would be interested in leading the division, which surprised Curtis. Drew said he thought Curtis would be a great fit for the role and gave him a packet with the formal chatting to Curtis in the hallway, so she went to his office and stood outside. Curtis acknowledged that accepting Drew's offer would mean a significant shift for him, but Drew reassured him that he trusted no one else to make decisions. Nina came into the office. "I wholeheartedly concur with that." Over what, she questioned. Though he didn't go into detail, Drew informed her that he and Curtis had been talking about a project. Though Nina was thrilled that Curtis would be joining the team, she gave her friend some advice on how to get Drew to make the best offer. "If you shake on anything, make sure you count your fingers afterwards," Nina said. Drew answered, "I haven't heard you complaining." For an instant, Nina's mind strayed to her most recent passionate experience with Drew, but she ignored the recollection. She gave Curtis some counsel, then glanced at Drew. "Before you get in bed with Drew, make sure you know what you're getting into," Nina replied. Drew grinned at Nina, and Curtis shifted his gaze between them. Nina closed the door and informed Drew that Curtis was a buddy after Curtis left after promising to return to Drew with an explanation. She was clear that she didn't want him to use Curtis for his own gain, but Drew reassured her that he had extended a generous offer to Curtis. When Nina inquired as to why Willow had visited his office, the topic of Willow soon came up. Drew disclosed that he had approached Willow to serve as an official representative for a company. Drew disagreed with Nina's assessment that Willow shouldn't have disclosed her medical history to the public. When Nina asked Drew how much money he would gain from the project, he replied that there would be none because it was a non-profit that matched donors with recipients of stem cells and bone marrow. He gave Nina the reassurance that Willow would make the final decision. Feeling gratified, Nina changed course and informed him that she had rearranged to meet Congressman McConkie later that afternoon. Nina was not upset when Drew told her he was going to be going with her. Drew was taken aback and questioned why she was being so understanding. Nina brought up the fact that in return for granting Drew access to the congressman, she had also granted her access to Willow. "I see. Quid pro quo," remarked Drew. Nina pointed out that it made more sense than for them to keep attempting to undermine one another, but he reminded her that trust was necessary for cooperation. Nina told him she thought Drew would understand how the arrangement would help him. His phone rang right then. Curtis was the one. Curtis welcomed Portia to the restaurant in Metro Court. He told her about Drew's job offer, as he knew she was wondering why he had insisted on seeing her immediately. Though it was obvious that she had her doubts, Portia was pleased for Curtis. What would happen to the Savoy, she asked him. Curtis reassured her that Marshall had been assisting with the crowds and musical acts, and that Anika had everything under control. Curtis made it plain that he had no intention of leaving the nightclub, even when Portia reminded him that the Savoy had been his dream. Curtis was certain that Selena Wu wouldn't be a problem, despite Portia's warning that she would take advantage of the situation to pursue the Savoy. Curtis emphasized that he would be able to continue working at the Savoy while he and Drew started their new business. Curtis assured her that he wouldn't be gone frequently or for too long, but Portia acknowledged that she would miss having him at home and to herself. He had faith in the endeavor and was excited to create something enduring of which he could be proud. When Portia knew he'd decided to accept the offer, Kristina thanked TJ and her sister for the breakfast offer while at TJ and Molly's apartment. TJ brought up that he had heard about Kristina and Jocelyn's fight when they all sat down to eat. TJ was gently reminded by Molly that Kristina had simply needed to vent, and Kristina reassured him that Jocelyn's apology had made everything right. TJ would not let it go and insisted on knowing what had been argued. As far as Kristina was concerned, Jocelyn had been talking badly about Sunny, whether they're true or not, ever since Sunny and Carly broke up. Kristina explained, nevertheless, that Jocelyn had been correct in the previous occasion. Molly sympathized with her sister and softly reaffirmed to her that parents were fallible people who occasionally failed them. TJ was less understanding, telling Kristina to avoid contact with Sunny while she was pregnant. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.